What's up, guys? Welcome back. My name is Troy Lister, aka King Lister, and as promised, I have come up with some new content for you guys for my channel today. I told you guys before that I was going to work on some ideas, different things that I would like to do to try to broaden my channel here and give you guys different types of topics and things to look forward to weekly, daily, whatever it may be. And the first thing I've come up with today that I want to start today with you guys right now is Troy's top 5. If you watched any YouTube channel before, you've seen top 10s, top 15s, top 20s, so on and so forth. This will be my spin on that type of idea, Troy's top 5. I'll take a category and I'll give you my list of the top 5 things that fit that category. These topics could be top 5 J. Cole songs, top 5 anticipated movies of the year, top 5 TV shows to binge watch on Netflix, and so on and so forth. Well, today I bring you top 5 moments / plot devices from last night's Game of Thrones episode, Season 8, Episode 4, The Last of the Starks. Alright, here we go. Let's get right into it. Moment number 5. The Gendry and Arya storyline. Boy, oh boy. People have been shipping this young pair for a long time since the earlier seasons. They separated for a long time, and a few weeks ago, they hooked up before the big battle. After the battle last night, the first thing we saw is that Gendry, who is the bastard of Robert Baratheon, became legitimized and became Gendry Baratheon, Lord of Storm's End. Very happy for you, Gendry. Very happy for you. You deserve it. I thought that was a really cool plot device. And after that, of course, the guy was probably so happy. I mean, he became legitimized. He's now no longer a bastard. He's now a lord. So the first thing he wants to go do is go find him someone who he thinks can live this life with him, and that's Arya. He professes his love to her and even proposes to her. But, of course, Arya denies him. And why is that? Because that's not her. If you remember all the way back in Season 1, when she had a conversation with her father, Ned Stark, he told her that she was going to grow up and marry a lord and have kids and be a queen, basically. And she said, that's not me. That's not her. She's a warrior. So I thought that was pretty true to her character. I felt bad for Gendry a little bit. I felt bad for him. He obviously seems to love her. I mean, nothing gets the juices flowing like fighting ice zombies. Am I right? And then Arya obviously leaves Winterfell a little bit later in the episode. She leaves with the Hound. Let me just say this. They're doing a lot of spin-offs for Game of Thrones. If I had my wish for one spin-off show in this current timeline, it would be Arya and the Hound spin-off show. Now, I think the Hound's going to die, but that's neither here nor there. But I think that would be a fantastic spin-off show. But moving right along to number 4 moment / plot device, how about those Lannister brothers? I thought it was a great episode for Tyrion and Jaime. I want to specifically focus on them. Cersei will come down the road. But Tyrion and Jaime, I thought, had a great episode. It was great to see them in the North celebrating the victory just as brothers. I thought some really good moments happened with them in the show. Starting with Bronn. When Bronn shows up, if you remember episode 1, he was sent to kill Jaime or Tyrion with the crossbow that Tyrion killed his father with. When Bronn shows up and he starts to they have a little spiel, a little conversation, and basically the brothers promise him an even better castle if he leaves them alone. And he leaves, and that storyline has not been resolved. He said he will come find them after the war. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that little plot device closes out at the end of the season. Brienne, Jaime, and Cersei. What a love triangle. What a love triangle. Jaime and Brienne. Let me just say this first. I love Jaime Lannister. I understand. I mean, he is not an easy character to love. I mean, the first time you see the guy, he pushes the kid out of the window because he's sleeping with his sister. I get it. Not an easy guy to root for, but I like the character. And this love story with him and Brienne has been beautiful. He is the best version of Jaime Lannister when he's with her. And you can tell he really, really loves her. But I think the combination of knowing Cersei is trying to kill him and his brother, and then hearing that Cersei might get killed, forced Jaime's hand, one hand, to go back to King's Landing to possibly, it looked like, save Cersei. I don't think he will save Cersei. That's another theory for another day. But I thought that was just a brilliant. I felt so bad for Brienne. They finally hooked up. You know, she's clearly in love with him. He means so much to her. And Jaime hit her with the classic, "I'm not a good guy, stay away from me" line. I mean, I thought it was brilliantly done, beautiful. The last part of this thing is Tyrion, obviously. Tyrion is a fantastic character who has been a main staple in the show for all the seasons. And he kind of fell off last season a little bit. He made a lot of bad decisions. Last night's episode, he kind of stepped right to the forefront again, and he really had a lot to do, a lot to say. I really loved the scenes with Tyrion involved, especially the Tyrion and Varys scenes. Brilliant, excellent. That is like OG classic political maneuvering Game of Thrones stuff right there. I loved it. The number 3 plot device last night, moment from the episode, Jon leaving the North. Not a fan. Not a fan. The first part of this I want to talk about is The Last of the Starks. That's the name of the episode, and that's a beautiful name for the episode because this whole first part of the season has been in Winterfell. It's been a lot about the North, the North, the North, the North. And you see that little meeting they had, Bran, Arya, Sansa, and Jon in the Godswood, and it was great to see them together as a family and have this kind of family discussion. And they're not fans of Daenerys. There's no love for Daenerys from the Stark sisters. Bran's kind of indifferent, obviously, but they're trying to convince Jon, like, hey, look, you got to be with us. You got to stick with us. And it end up leading to the big moment where Jon reveals his true parentage, and let's just say Sansa cannot keep a secret. I thought the scenes with Sam, Tormund, and even Ghost were really touching, really sad. Sam tells Jon he's the best friend he's ever had. He wants to name his possibly his firstborn true son after Jon. That's a beautiful moment. Tormund, a beautiful moment with him and Jon. These guys were enemies. They were sworn enemies. And now they're like best of buds, best friends. There's so much love there because Tormund really respects Jon for the man that he is. And I think that was great to see. And I guess that's the end of Tormund. I don't believe we'll see him in the last 2 episodes. They could surprise us, but it looked like a goodbye. And especially with Jon not even really petting Ghost, just kind of giving him that look, and Ghost kind of whimpering, giving him a look back, and Jon leaving Winterfell and all of them watching him leave. That was very sad. It was very ominous for me. I'm a huge Jon Snow fan, and it kind of felt like Jon could be leaving the North to never come back. We'll have to see. The last point to Jon's little plot device moments from last night, Jon and Dany. How about it, man? I mean, whoa. That scene with them after the celebration, a lot of tension, a lot of tension. I will expand more on that when we get to Dany down the road. The number 2 moment / plot device for me was Cersei making power moves. For everybody who's been complaining that the Night King didn't get his due, the Night King is a real big bad, all that stuff, no, I'm sorry. It's Cersei Lannister. Cersei is the big bad of the show. She is the bad guy. She is the villain. She is a great, great character. And last night she proved that she is just as dangerous as the Night King, if not more dangerous than the Night King. I mean, let's start off. She sets up the attack when Daenerys and them are going on the way back to Dragonstone, and the Greyjoy fleet there traps them, and she takes out one of Dany's dragons. Well, not her personally. Euron does it, but she takes out a dragon, Rhaegal. One of the last 2 dragons Daenerys has left is now gone, and that's all because of Cersei planning, maneuvering. When they put up the King's Landing at the end, and she had all the stuff around the. She's ready for war, man. She's smart. She let everybody fight it out in the North, and now she's sitting back and planning and plotting, and she looks like she's ready for action. She continues this by killing Missandei, having the hound, or not, excuse me, the hound, having the mountain take her head off. in front of Daenerys and Grey Worm and the rest of the Unsullied. I mean, that is a power play. And the look she gives Tyrion afterwards when she's looking down at him, it scared the bejesus out of me. It scared the bejesus out of me. My last point for Cersei, real quick, before I move on to my number one topic. She's passing off Euron. She's passing off her and Jaime's baby as Euron's. I really wanted to see how this plays out. I know there's only 2 episodes left before the show ends, but this has to be a key factor going forward. Cersei was a major player in last night's episode, and her passing this baby off as Euron's is a major plot point. Look out for that for the next 2 episodes. Look out. And number one moment / plot point, whatever you want to call it, for last night's episode going forward is Daenerys going full Mad Queen. Look, they are clearly trying to build it up and point that Daenerys will go full Mad Queen like her father, who was the Mad King. They say Targaryens can snap, and they had that they're missing something upstairs and that they are a little bit nuts. Well, she looked at the end of the episode. Look, Dany has lost a lot. She is not herself. It showed from the very beginning of the episode. The scene in Winterfell, the celebration, they're all making toasts and yada, yada, yada. She's looking around the room and she sees all these people happy and talking and smiling. She sees the people gather around Jon. They love him. They embrace him. They appreciate Jon for the man that he is. Nobody there in Westeros feels that way about Daenerys. When she was across the sea in Essos, she was loved. She was loved in Marine. She was loved in these places. She freed slaves. She was, they called her Misa, mother. She was everything to these people. But here in her homeland, she's nothing. The Targaryens were ran out, and she has not felt that love from anyone. And on top of that, she just keeps losing people. She lost Jorah in the battle. She loses a dragon last season, which are basically her children. She loses a dragon last night. She watches Missandei get her head chopped off last night. I mean, she is taking L's after L. And all she's done so far, really, is come over here and help the North. She came over at the beginning of last season to take her throne, and she went north to help the North, and she's lost a lot because of it. She's lost a lot in general since season 1. If you go back to losing Khal Drogo, who she loved, her husband, she has lost a lot. And I feel Dany's mental health right now is not in a good place. She looked clearly shaken and bothered after Missandei's death last night. And I'm really wondering how she's going to react over these final 2 episodes. My last point to Dany is the scene with her and Jon. I want to expand on it real quick. She begged him to not tell anyone about his true lineage, about him being a Targaryen and having more of a strong claim to the throne than her. She begged him. We've never seen Daenerys beg for anything. In season 1, you meet this young, fragile young woman who's forced to marry this warlord, and she does it. And she bends him to her will. Khal Drogo was going to go to a foreign country to fight a war for her, to give her her throne that they stole from her family. She has done this over and over and over. She's grown with power. She's become one of the, if not the, most powerful characters in the show. And she was begging Jon to not say a word to anybody. And Jon, the noble man he is, like Ned Stark, had to tell his sisters. And Sansa, who has a big mouth, had to tell Tyrion. And Tyrion told Varys. And down the line it goes. And now we're looking at these last 2 episodes like, man, what is about to happen? Really, what is going to happen? Because these 5 points I've mentioned, the Gendry and Arya, the Lannister brothers, Jon leaving the North, Cersei's power moves, Daenerys possibly going full Mad Queen. There is so much that could possibly still happen in these last, they're 80 minutes each, so what's that, an hour and 60 minutes? That's like 2 hours and 40 minutes of action, 2 hours and 40 minutes basically. There's just so much to still possibly happen. I am very excited to see what happens. I wonder if the Cersei conclusion will happen in episode 5? Will they hold it all till 6? Like, I really am interested in seeing how this plays out over the next 2 weeks. I can't believe we're at the end. We are at the the nitty gritty now. As Doctor Strange said, we are in the end game now. We are in the end game. It is going to be very interesting for sure, and I think these points that I made today, these 5 topic subjects, will be big in the future of the ending of the show and going forward. Because obviously, once the show ends, there still will be a Westeros that lives, and I think these things going forward could have major impacts on not just the ending of the show, but the world itself going forward. I'm really interested to see how they close it up, how they wrap it up. And yeah, that's it for my first choice top 5 today. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please like, comment, share, subscribe. Look forward to future videos of like this, shorter videos, top 5s. I plan on doing at least 2 more this week. Not sure exactly of the subject matter yet, but I at least plan on doing at least 2 more. Maybe 3, because one might be a Game of Thrones one. It might be a top 5 deaths, but predictions for this episode coming up. But anyways, guys, that's it. Real quick, short and sweet tonight. Choice top 5 moments from last night's episode of Game of Thrones, The Last of the Starks. Beautiful title, beautiful episode. See you guys later.